Hi, my name is Joshua Chonogo, aka JoshTalks, and you're welcome to ValueBased. And as in every condition, we bring somebody important, somebody of value to talk to us, to inspire, and to motivate us. Today, we have an entrepreneur. He's a retail marketer, Mr. Kalu Ejim. Thanks for coming on the show, sir.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, so tell us about yourself. Tell us about you.
Okay, my name is Kalu Ejim. I'm an accountant and an entrepreneur. Actually, I've worked in different firms and I like doing business. So I do retailing by the side. So a couple of months back, I had to leave the job and go into full time business, full time retailing, full time entrepreneur. I'm married and I have a handsome little boy.
Okay. So, what is retailing? Because
Okay, retailing is just like bringing the market to the people.
okay,
For example, people need to drink water, and then they don't have to go down the road and get maybe a borehole water or what like that. So somebody comes up with the idea of putting the water in a sachet, and then we came up with something like what they call pure water, and some stuff like bottled water. So they kind of retail the whole thing and bring the market closer to the people, so people can now really have value for what they want and they pay for that. So retailing generally makes a commodity very convenient for the consumer to have it.
okay. Now, okay, let me ask you, like, can you tell us about the businesses you have done so far? Not particularly this one, like you enjoy doing businesses. So, like, just an example of some businesses you have done.
Okay, I started my journey into business started some time back when I was in the university. So in my first year, I noticed that each time I come back to school, the kind of shirts I kind of put on, the my classmates and my lecturers kind of like it. So I now decided to come to a bar, make this clothes, and take it down there. It was a very lucrative stuff that I made over 100% returns on
Wow.
profits. So I took it big time. And at a point, I wasn't even coming down. I just take the measurements, I send it down here, and they do it, bring it down there. So I was doing that over a time. That was about the 10th time that we had this introduction of GSM in Nigeria. The time Obasanjo, then the president, actually signed the whole deal, and then MTN came up. The phone thing was a big deal.
Yeah.
To have a phone was really difficult. So at that time, I had a friend in Germany. So the guy kind of bring down the phones for me, and I sell. I hired boys who go to there's some places called Cross River North. That's like Obudu, Obubra, all those places. So they go there and sell it. And sometimes those things actually will make over 150% returns on investment. And then those are some things I did. And before I graduated, I had a cafe. I
Wow.
had a cyber cafe. So one thing I normally do basically is I try to look out for things that people need, and I do the best I can to venture into it, because the easiest way to make money is just to set a trap. So when I mean set a trap, I mean like try to calculate something to get their money, because people have money in the pocket, so you have to
Seriously.
grab it out.
Okay. For someone that wants to enter business, what traits or qualities like do you think the person needs to have to actually like make it in business?
Okay, basically one of the falls I had in business is some of these businesses I wasn't really trained in it, just like the cyber cafe thing. I mean, you need to be good on the computers. Remember, I'm from an accounting background. You need to be good on the computers. You need to have an IT idea. You need to have basic things to know how to run the whole business. But somehow, I just started doing it. I mean, in business, we call it the guerrilla kind of marketing or the guerrilla kind of business. So I didn't really get it done. So one of the basic things, and that really affected me in my journey as an entrepreneur. Most of these things I was doing, I didn't get the basic knowledge.
Knowledge, yeah.
You definitely will not go far if you don't have the knowledge. So as an entrepreneur or somebody that wants to start a business, you have to research, you have to go get the knowledge, you have to also look around to kind of partner kind of or come closer to people who are doing it already. because they say that association is the greatest influence of destiny. So if you like what you're doing now, you have to have a mentor who is doing the same thing. It mustn't have to meet the person.
Yes.
It could be online or whatever the case may be. So that will make you better. That will get you to become excellent in what you're doing. So an entrepreneur who want to do business, the person have to get knowledge, have to get closer to people who are doing the same thing. You have to research. Then when you do that, you have to now start putting 1+1 together.
Now, one very quick question: like a lot of businesses, like you have a business working to a place, and the people that attend to you are not nice.
Mm.
Like some people don't actually feel, or they don't know that kindness and niceness is very important in like running the business. So,
Exactly.
like, can you talk about it, like being nice, being actually kind, being good? Like, how will I enter into a shop and I want to buy something and you're rude? Why?
Yeah. Okay, that goes back to training. Okay, I like what we intend to do. One of the reasons why we're taking it back is we're training. I'm in training right now. There's something called customer care in business. Customer care have a lot to do with the way you look at the customer. The customer is the boss, is the king. So most of these people are not trained. They just put up a billboard or an advert and say sales girls needed or secretary needed. And somebody who have an issue, maybe unfortunately, maybe the dad is late or couldn't pass his or her exam, shows up at work the day, and you walk in, and the person is going to transfer aggression. So you have to train the person to pull out emotion from business. Business is different from your emotion. It's business from your personal being. It's business from it's different from where you're going, what's going on in your life. So it has a lot to do with the owner of the business having to make out time to train the staff. You don't get from people what they don't have. So it's okay that you are employing people. It's okay that you are starting a business. But you as a business owner, you have to train yourself to recognize your customer, understand that the business is succeeding because of your customers.
True.
So you pass the same trust down to your employees or your staff and all that.
Okay. So for every, because a couple of business owners actually watch this stuff. All of you that are business owners, please train the people that work for you.
Exactly.
Like, it's not nice entering into your company or organization and the person that is responding to the customer is rude and harsh.
Let me say this.
Yeah.
Actually, people don't buy products. That's one of the things I learned when I was passing through a course. People don't buy products. Like, people don't come here and they buy wine. People don't come here and they buy banana. People buy people. So because people buy people, the person who represents the business is important. You walk into the bank and the customer care is smiling at you. And maybe you didn't intend to open an account there. You came to cash out a check. And the person is like, why don't you have an account here? And that have started up something in your mind. So because people buy people, people is the essential thing in business, not even the commodity. If you have the background, you have the platform, and you created a distribution channel, even if you are selling newspaper or you're selling maybe a toothpick, it's going to flow because you are dealing with the right kind of persons.
Very true. Now, what challenges have you faced so far in business, in working for people, your own, like what challenges have you faced?
Wow, so much challenges in business. Nigeria have not really given us, enabling environment for business to thrive. I started business. I started as a journey into entrepreneurship. Then I get into working for people. I've worked for people for like 10 years. And then I get back into the business world. The biggest challenge really is the environment. Okay. The environment is very difficult, so you have to have a tough skin. So I can't sit down here and now start listing all of them down, but we have a lot of challenges that ranges from infrastructure to power and all that. So those things are challenges. And then another thing there is there's a lot of competition. Because there's a lot of competition, you have to, have a tough skin to outbid or outshine your competitor. And then another thing that was really difficult is funding. We have a project that we intended to fly, started it up like 2 years back. The reason why we are still not allowing it to show up right now is because of funding. So in this part of the world, you don't just walk into the bank or get loans, or even we tried, really tried to assess funds from well-meaning individuals. We even had to partner with a particular state governor. At the time, we had a meeting with the state governor, shared the idea, they loved the idea. We were really about to make it happen, and all they did was that they shut us up and started doing it on their own.
Wow.
Somehow it still flopped because you didn't give them the details. But funding is basic. I mean, you have to find your way around funding your business, no matter how difficult it's going to be. But if you can get it funded and you believe in what you are offering to the people, then the business will fly.
Okay. All right. Then one more quick question. Like, for people that work for people and they want to do their own stuff, they know that they're not truly enjoying what they do. Like they're working
Yeah.
for somebody, they're
Yeah.
not really enjoying it. How do they know when they are ready to leave working with somebody to start up their own, like, or just like for people that want to start their own stuff and they're
Exactly.
working for people, what can you tell them?
Okay. Really, I have this quote that says, "Dreams without dates make sluggard." You have a dream to go to school, you don't put a date in it, then you're going to be lazy. You want to start up your business and you don't put a date to it, you're going to be lazy. First thing you have to do is to put a date when you want to get it started. I was the South agent coordinator for eTransact Nigerian PLC, and then it was a good job. I was traveling a lot, but I decided that I'm going to start my own thing. I was already doing my own thing by the side, but I was going to give it 100% this year. So I know I already have a date on it. So some months back, I was like, I'm done with this. So let me go out there and start up with my own thing. So the first thing you have to do is to put a date to it. Then you don't just put a date to it. You have to start looking out for channels of generating funds or getting your own thing happening on the side. I didn't just quit my job and I'm just sitting at home and wishful thinking or hoping that, the business is going to start. No, you have to start doing some things by the side, because you don't work 7 days a week. Even if you work 7 days a week, you have break. So on the side, start doing something, start rehearsing what you want to start with. So as you are rehearsing it, it comes to a time you see that your side hustle, so to say, will now start taking more attention than your main hustle, which is the business you are doing with the person. So when it gets to that point, you just have to resign and focus on your main hustle.
Very true. All right. We have come to the end of this particular very interesting, very interesting business session. Now, for everybody watching, like any last words?
I know I said something. I said, okay, I said, I mean, money really is a catch of a calculated trap. Okay, so what we're doing in business is not just about creating value. We also want to make money. That's the truth. So all I can say to somebody out there who wants to start up something or want to follow this route of being an entrepreneur is you have to make sure that you've really written down this trap properly. If it's not well written down, then you have a problem. Then secondly, association is very important. You have to associate yourself with the right persons. Then you have to also get it started. Don't just wish that somehow, someday, a miracle will happen. Start small. It's not wrong to start small. Just start, and you'll be amazed at the level you are. The business idea that you have, a lot of people also have it. The difference between you and the person is your fears. So when you set aside the fears and leave every other obstacle and just start, you see that you are going to go places.
Okay. So this is the end of the interview. I had so much fun listening to Mr. Kalu Ejim. One thing he said is we should date the whenever you want, like whatever business you want to start, put a date to it.
Put a date to it.
Put a date so you don't get lazy. All right. Thank you all for watching. Like and share till I come in next week. This is still value based, and I'm still your host, Josh Talks.